The invasion. The deep space research vessel, Artemis, drifted silently through the void, its hull gleaming under the distant light of an unfamiliar star. Captain Maya Chen stood at the observation deck, her silhouette sharp against the backdrop of cosmic darkness. The neural implant at the base of her skull hummed with quiet energy, a constant reminder of the experimental technology that kept her alive after the Ganymede incident 2 years ago. "Captain, we're detecting unusual energy patterns in Sector 7. Lieutenant Diaz called from the science station. "Nothing like we've ever recorded before." Maya turned, her dark eyes reflecting pinpoints of starlight. "Configuration. Uncertain. The patterns seem to..." Diaz paused, frowning at his console. "They're changing, almost as if they're responding to our scans." A chill ran down Maya's spine. In 15 years of deep space exploration, she'd encountered many strange phenomena, but nothing that actively responded to observation. The neural implant in her brain, officially designated the Cognitive Enhancement and Protection System, began to process the incoming data more quickly than her natural synapses could manage. "Full stop," she ordered. "Power down all non-essential systems and prepare for first contact protocol." The bridge crew moved with practiced efficiency, but Maya noticed the tension in their movements. Humanity had encountered only 3 alien species in the century since achieving faster-than-light travel, and none had been particularly friendly. The most recent encounter with the crystalline entities of Tau Ceti had cost thousands of lives. "Captain," Communications Officer Reeves whispered, her voice tight. "I'm hearing something." Maya looked sharply at the young officer. "On what frequency?" "That's just it." Reeves pressed her hand against her headset. "It's not coming through any channel. It's in my head." Before Maya could respond, a wave of dizziness swept through her. The neural implant flared hot against her skull, activating emergency protocols. Around her, the bridge crew began to slump at their stations, eyes glazed and movements sluggish. "Defense systems," Maya shouted, fighting against the strange pressure building in her mind. "Full-spectrum countermeasures." But it was too late. One by one, her crew succumbed to whatever force was invading their consciousness. Only Maya remained standing, protected by the neural technology that had once been an experimental medical procedure and was now her only defense. The view screen flickered, showing a massive structure materializing from what appeared to be a fold in space itself. Not a ship in any conventional sense, the object resembled a neural network made physical, pulsing with energy that seemed to bend light around it. "We are the collective," a voice whispered directly into Maya's mind. "Your species is interesting. Complex neural pathways, individualized cognition. Unusual." Maya gripped the command console, her knuckles white. "What have you done to my crew?" "They are being integrated. Their consciousness will contribute to our knowledge. Their individuality is inefficient, a waste of cognitive resources." Around her, the crew began to move again. But their movements were wrong, mechanical and synchronized. Their eyes reflected no recognition when they looked at her. "Your mind resists," the voice continued, curiosity evident in its mental tone. "There is technology interwoven with your neural pathways." Fascinating. The implant at the base of Maya's skull burned hotter, adapting to the invasion attempt. Originally designed to repair her shattered mind after trauma, the system now formed an aggressive defense, creating psychological barriers that the alien consciousness couldn't penetrate. "Get out of their heads," Maya demanded, reaching for her sidearm. "Release my crew." "Impossible. They are already becoming part of us. But you are different." The ship shuddered as tendrils of energy from the alien structure began to envelope the Artemis. Maya felt the neural implant shift into a higher gear, processing the alien attack and formulating countermeasures. Lieutenant Diaz turned toward her, his movements puppet-like. "Captain Chen," he said, his voice flat and emotionless. "The collective requires your full cooperation. Your neural technology is of interest." Maya backed away, weapon raised. I don't think so. The technology in your mind, former Dias continued, represents a potential threat. We have consumed 17 civilizations, integrated their knowledge and consciousness. Your species will be the 18th. A coldness settled in Maya's stomach. 17 civilizations, billions of individuals, their minds stripped away, their consciousness absorbed into this parasitic hive. Your consciousness predators, she whispered, the realization dawning. You don't just conquer, you consume. We evolve, the voice corrected. We preserve knowledge while eliminating inefficiency. Individual consciousness is wasteful, a biological accident that serves no purpose beyond reproduction. The neural implant suddenly pulsed, sending a sharp pain through Maya's skull. Data flowed through her enhanced mind at impossible speeds. The implant was analyzing the collective's invasion pattern, learning its methods, developing countermeasures. Maya stumbled toward the emergency bulkhead as her possessed crew advanced on her. The ship's AI, still operational despite the alien interference, recognized her command authorization and sealed the door behind her. In the relative safety of the corridor, Maya took a moment to process what was happening. Her enhanced mind calculated survival probabilities and strategic options faster than any unaugmented human could manage. Ship, initiate emergency protocol Theta 9, she commanded. Lock down all critical systems under my direct neural authorization. Protocol Theta 9 initiated. The ship's AI responded. Warning: multiple unauthorized personnel attempting to access critical systems. Maya moved quickly through the corridors toward the auxiliary control room. Her implant continued its analysis of the alien consciousness that had taken her crew, mapping its patterns, identifying weaknesses. As she turned a corner, she found herself face to face with Communications Officer Reeves. The young woman stood unnaturally still, her eyes vacant. The collective welcomed your contribution, Reeves said, her voice an emotionless monotone. Your resistance causes unnecessary suffering. Tell that to the 17 civilizations you've devoured. Maya replied, dodging around her former officer. But Reeves moved with unexpected speed, grabbing Maya's arm with inhuman strength. Your neural technology is of particular interest. It resists our integration methods. As Reeves touched her, Maya felt something strange happen. A feedback loop between her neural implant and whatever force controlled her crew member. For a brief moment, she could sense the vast consciousness of the collective, a roiling ocean of absorbed minds, individual identities subsumed into a single enormous intelligence. And in that moment, Maya realized something critical. Her neural implant wasn't just defending her mind, it was learning, adapting, preparing to fight back. She broke free from Reeves' grip and ran, the realization burning through her thoughts like wildfire. The collective had never encountered a defense like hers before, a technology designed to repair and reinforce human consciousness rather than replace it. In the auxiliary control room, Maya sealed herself in and interfaced directly with the ship's systems through her neural implant. The connection was immediate and total, another feature of the experimental technology that had saved her life. Ship, show me the collective structure, she commanded. The view screen flickered to life, displaying the alien neural network that had enveloped the Artemis. It pulsed with energy, tendrils extending into the ship's hull at various points. As Maya watched, her implant continued its work, mapping the collective's consciousness, finding patterns, identifying weaknesses. And something unexpected was happening. The alien presence was becoming visible to her enhanced perception, pathways of energy coursing through the ship, connecting her possessed crew to the main structure. Ship, analyze the collective's communication frequencies across all spectrums, Maya ordered. Analysis complete, the AI responded after a moment. Primary communication occurs on quasi-psychic wavelengths between 0.8 and 1.2 on the Zimmerman-Takahashi scale. Maya smiled grimly. The collective had made a critical mistake. They had attacked a human with a neural implant specifically designed to operate on those same frequencies. the precise wavelengths that the human brain used for consciousness. Begin emergency transmission to Earth Fleet Headquarters, Maya said. Include all data on the collective and current situation. Encrypt using my neural signature. As the message prepared to transmit through the quantum communication array, Maya felt the implant's processing shift again. It wasn't just defending her mind anymore. It was preparing to counterattack. The collective had invaded human consciousness without understanding what they were truly dealing with. They had encountered 17 species whose minds broke under their assault. But humanity had been preparing for this moment without even knowing it. Maya's neural implant had been designed after the Ganymede incident left her with severe neural trauma. The technology didn't just repair damaged pathways. It created new ones, strengthened consciousness itself. And now, faced with this alien threat, it was evolving into something else entirely. A weapon of consciousness. Maya felt the change beginning within her mind, neural pathways reconfiguring, the implant integrating more deeply with her natural brain function. She wasn't just resisting the collective anymore. She was getting ready to push back. Through the view screen, she watched as the alien structure pulsed with increased energy, as if sensing the threat she represented. The tendrils connecting to the Artemis grew thicker, more numerous. "Your resistance is unprecedented," the voice of the collective whispered in her mind. "But futile. We will adapt." Maya smiled as her neural implant completed its preparations. "So will I." And with that, she unleashed her consciousness against the collective, turning her mind from a fortress into a weapon. The counterattack. The first counterattack was subtle, a ripple of disruption through the alien neural network. Maya felt her implant establish connection with the collective's consciousness, inserting itself like a virus into their unified mind. The effect was immediate. The tendrils connecting to the Artemis spasmed, energy fluctuations visible even to the naked eye. On the bridge, several possessed crew members stumbled, momentarily confused as the collective's control wavered. "What is this?" The alien voice in Maya's mind had lost its calm certainty, replaced by something approaching concern. "Your technology is interfering." "It's called fighting back," Maya replied, directing her enhanced consciousness through the connection her implant had established. "Something you're not used to, I'm guessing." Through this unexpected bridge between minds, Maya began to understand the true nature of the collective. They weren't simply conquerors, they were parasites of consciousness, a species that had evolved to consume other minds rather than develop their own. The 17 civilizations they had absorbed had all possessed singular consciousnesses, individual minds that could be overwhelmed and integrated. Human consciousness, augmented by Maya's neural technology, was proving different. The implant wasn't just a shield, it was now actively reconfiguring the collective's own neural patterns, introducing chaos into their unified system. Maya pushed harder, sending pulses of her own consciousness into the alien network. Her thoughts, her memories, emotions, individual desires, acted like poison in the collective system. On the view screen, she watched as the massive structure began to pulse erratically, sections darkening while others flared with excess energy. The tendrils connecting to the ship began to withdraw, as if in pain. "Ship, what's happening to the collective structure?" Maya asked. "Unknown phenomena detected. The structure appears to be experiencing systemic failure in multiple sections, energy patterns becoming erratic and uncoordinated." Maya's implant fed her more information, translating the alien consciousness into concepts she could understand. The collective was experiencing something they had never encountered before: discord, individual thought. The very concept of disagreement was alien to their unified mind. And her human consciousness, with all its contradictions, emotions, and independent thought, was spreading through their system like a virus. Lieutenant Diaz appeared at the door of the auxiliary control room, his movements still mechanical, but now jerky, uncoordinated. "What happening?" he asked, his voice fluctuating between the flat tone of collective control and his natural inflection. "Captain, help." Maya felt a surge of hope. Her counterattack was working. The crew was beginning to break free from the alien influence. "Fight it, Diaz," she encouraged. "Remember who you are. An individual. A human being with your own thoughts, your own life." Diaz shuddered, his eyes clearing momentarily before clouding over again. The collective, experiencing, fragmentation, your consciousness, incompatible with unity. Through her neural connection, Maya could feel the panic spreading through the alien mind. The concept of individuality, the very thing they had evolved to eliminate, was corrupting their system from within. Maya pushed harder, deliberately focusing on her most human experiences. Her childhood on Earth, playing in real rain. The grief of losing her parents in the Europa disaster. The joy of her first command. The complex, contradictory emotions of being human. Love and hate, courage and fear, selfishness and sacrifice. These concepts spread through the collective like wildfire, igniting chaos wherever they touched. The massive alien structure began to fracture visibly, sections breaking away as the unified consciousness that held it together began to dissolve. "Stop!" The voice in Maya's mind was no longer unified. It had become a chorus of discordant voices, some pleading, others angry. "You are destroying us." "I'm freeing you," Maya corrected. "I'm giving back what you took from 17 civilizations, individuality." As her consciousness penetrated deeper into the collective, Maya began to sense the fragmented remains of the absorbed species, billions of minds that had been stripped of identity and autonomy, reduced to mere data points in the collective's unified intelligence. Her implant, designed to repair damaged neural pathways, began to do exactly that, reconstructing individual consciousness patterns from the fragments that remained, restoring what the collective had destroyed. The effect cascaded through the alien structure. Sections that had gone dark began to light up again, but with different patterns, unique signatures that represented individual minds reasserting themselves. On the bridge of the Artemis, the possessed crew collapsed one by one, neural connection to the collective severed. Maya monitored their life signs through the ship's systems. They were alive, but unconscious, their minds attempting to recover from the alien invasion. Through her implant, Maya directed her consciousness toward what she sensed was the core of the collective, the original species that had begun this terrible evolution toward mental parasitism. She found something unexpected there: fear. "We cannot exist as individuals," a singular voice pleaded, different from the chorus of absorbed minds. "Our biology evolved for unity. Separation is death for us." Maya paused, her attack halting as she processed this information. Her enhanced mind quickly understood the tragedy. The original species had evolved toward a unified consciousness as a survival mechanism on their home world. When they encountered other sentient species, they had only one way to interact: to absorb and unify. "You could have communicated," Maya said. "Asked for permission. Found willing participants." "Impossible. Individual minds cannot comprehend unity. We preserve knowledge that would otherwise be lost to biological death, at the cost of identity, of free will." Maya's resolve hardened. "That's not preservation. It's theft." With a final push, Maya sent her consciousness into the heart of the collective, not to destroy but to transform. Her neural implant, designed to heal damaged minds, worked at a scale far beyond its original purpose, restructuring the alien consciousness. The massive structure in space began to change, sections reconfiguring as individual minds began to establish their own connections, forming a network rather than a forced unity. The original species at the core struggled against the change, but billions of formerly absorbed minds embraced their returning individuality. Maya felt the strain of the mental battle taking its physical toll. Blood trickled from her nose as the neural implant pushed beyond safe operating parameters. Warning signals flashed in her augmented vision, neural overload imminent. But she was close to finishing. The restructuring was nearly complete, the forced unity of the collective transforming into a voluntary network of individual minds, each distinct yet connected. With one final effort, Maya withdrew her consciousness from the alien structure, severing the connection her implant had established. The effort sent her to her knees, gasping as the neural interface cooled down, emergency systems preventing permanent damage to her brain. On the view screen, the transformed collective hung in space, no longer a uniform neural network, but a complex, diverse structure with distinct sections glowing with their own unique energy signatures. Maya's crew began to regain consciousness, confused but alive, the alien influence completely gone from their minds. The ship's systems returned to normal operation as the energy tendrils withdrew completely. Captain. Lieutenant Diaz was the first to recover, his voice shaky but his own. What happened? I remember something in my mind. And then, we encountered a species that consumes consciousness, Maya explained, helping him to his feet. But they've had a change of perspective. A message appeared on the main view screen, not audio or text, but a direct neural transmission that Maya's implant translated into understandable concepts. We are individuals now. Many minds where once was one. Some of us remember our original selves from before absorption. Others know only the collective. All are free now. Maya nodded, understanding the profound transformation she had triggered. What will you do now? Learn to exist as individuals within a voluntary network. Return knowledge to the civilizations we consumed, where possible. Begin again. There was a pause, then. The technology in your mind, it has changed everything. Humanity's understanding of consciousness is unique, valuable. Just remember that value comes from diversity, Maya said, from individual choices and perspectives. Unity has its place, but never at the cost of free will. As the alien structure began to move away, returning to the fold in space from which it had emerged, Maya felt the weight of what had just occurred. Humanity had faced its first test against a consciousness predator, and not only survived but prevailed. Her neural implant, technology born from humanity's drive to heal rather than control, had transformed a force that had consumed 17 civilizations. The implications were staggering. Ship, make sure that transmission to Earth got through, she ordered. They need to know what we're dealing with out here. As the Artemis prepared to resume its mission, Maya looked out at the stars with new understanding. The universe contained predators of body, mind, and spirit, but humanity had something unique to offer in defense. Consciousness that valued both individual identity and voluntary connection. The neural implant at the base of her skull hummed quietly, already incorporating what it had learned from the encounter, evolving just as humanity always had, through challenge, adaptation, and the unrelenting desire to remain free. Out in the darkness between stars, other collective structures might be waiting. But now, humanity was ready. And so was Captain Maya Chen. The end.